The mighty jungle sleeps tonight. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Iowa, 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 hush, my darling, don't cry, my darling. Every little thing's gonna be alright, alright. Hush, my darling, don't cry, my darling. Every little thing's gonna be alright, alright. Iowa, Iowa, Iowa. Hush, my darling, don't fail to be my darling. Every little thing's gonna be alright, alright. Hush, my darling, don't fail to be my darling. Every little thing's gonna be alright, alright. Iowa, 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 the lion sleeps tonight. The lion sleeps tonight. The lion sleeps tonight.
Wow. Please, may you exit the stage. And so today, without further ado, I want to also recognize the involvement of the private sector, who are very critical in driving manufacturing as well as industrialization in this country. And they are the hardest hit by the counterfeit as well as illicit scourge, not only here in Kenya, but around the world. But we see their resilience every day, waking up to grow our economy, to grow our manufacturing base, and of course, to create employment. We recognize you, we salute you, and we honor you this day where we are meeting to talk about counterfeit and strategies on how to deal with counterfeit products. And of course, today, we've been talking about this theme, leveraging strategic partnerships to combat counterfeiting. And I like the person who came up with this theme because he was very, or she was very strategic, putting the word strategic partnerships, because these are just not partnerships, but these are strategic partnerships. So I want to go straight to the private sector, and I want to invite the private sector representative, From BIC East Africa, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on stage Salome Goge. She is the marketing manager at BIC East Africa. Where is Salome Goge? Let us put our hands together as we welcome Salome on stage. Thank you very much, Salome, for this time. Please keep clapping. Yeah. Thank you very much, Salome.
Honorable Principal, Secretary, Statement Department of Industry, Chairman of Anti-Counterfeit Authority, Executive Director of the Anti-Counterfeit Authority, distinguished guests, colleagues from government and industry, all protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Salome. I'm the marketing manager for BIC East Africa. And I am honored to join you today on behalf of Paloma Lingema, the General Manager of BIC East Africa, who sends her sincere apologies and warm regards. Allow me to begin by thanking the Anti-Counterfeit Authority for convening this important World Anti-Counterfeit Day celebration and for bringing together stakeholders committed to protecting consumers, businesses, and the integrity of Kenya's marketplace. I would also like to recognize the continued leadership of government, the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, and industry partners who have worked tirelessly to strengthen Kenya's response to counterfeiting. This year's theme, leveraging strategic partnership to combat counterfeiting, is timely and very important. Counterfeiting is no longer a peripheral concern affecting only a few sectors or a few premium brands. It has become a serious market integrity challenge with direct implications for product quality, safety, consumer confidence, and trust in legitimate enterprise. Every day, millions of purchasing decisions are made across Kenya. For BIC, a parent buys school supplies, a student purchases a pen, a retailer stocks everyday products for their customers, and household buys a lighter. As consumers make these purchases decisions, the expectation is that the product they purchase is genuine, safe, and performs as intended. Counterfeit goods undermine that confidence, and it creates uncertainty in the marketplace that consumers rely on every day. For BIC, this issue is particularly important because we operate in a low-cost, high-value category that forms part of the daily lives of Kenyans. As a manufacturer with operations in Kenya, we also have a direct stake in protecting the integrity of the market. We've invested in local manufacturing. We employ Kenyan talent. We work through extensive retail and distribution networks across the country, creating jobs for hundreds of thousands, and we remain committed to delivering products that consumers can trust. That trust has been built through consistent quality and accountability. Responsible manufacturers invest heavily in maintaining those standards, but the counterfeiting challenge has also become increasingly sophisticated. Advances in manufacturing and packaging technologies have enabled counterfeiters to produce near identical replicas that can be difficult to distinguish from genuine products at first glance, down to the quality standard markings. Yet counterfeiters do not replicate the quality systems, testing processes, and accountability that sits behind genuine products. This is why collaboration between stakeholders is even more important in protecting consumers and maintaining trust in the marketplace. The challenge ahead is significant. The Anti-Counterfeit Authority has estimated approximately 1 in every 5 products sold in Kenya may be counterfeit. And like my colleague who was on stage said, we are losing 800 billion shillings annually to illicit trade and counterfeit. Fortunately, Kenya has already demonstrated what is possible when stakeholders work together. The Anti-Counterfeit Authority continues to play a critical leadership role through enforcement, awareness creation, capacity building, and stakeholder engagement. Government agencies, industry associations, and businesses present together our strengthened cooperation in ways that are helping to protect consumers and legitimate trade. The opportunity before us today is to deepen those partnerships through collaborations and coordinated efforts. For BIC, 3 areas are particularly important. First is the capacity building. When enforcers, officers, distributors, and retailers are equipped to identify genuine products and recognize potential counterfeits, interventions become more effective. Strengthening this practical capability across the value chain helps prevent counterfeit goods from reaching consumers in the first place and improves overall market surveillance. Second, coordinated action. Counterfeiters operate across complex supply chains and distribution networks. Addressing the challenge effectively requires close coordination between regulators, enforcement agencies, manufacturers, distributors, retailers, and industry associations present here today. When these factors work in alignment, responses become faster, enforcement becomes more consistent, and the integrity of the marketplace is significantly strengthened. We need faster reporting and response. If a suspicious product is identified in the market, the information should move quickly between stakeholders for coordinated efforts. Counterfeit goods move fast. Our response must move faster. And third, information sharing. Brand owners often have valuable product knowledge and market intelligence that can help identify suspicious activity and support enforcement efforts. When this information is shared early and consistently with the relevant authorities, it enables faster identification, targeted enforcement, and more effective disruption of counterfeit supply chains. We need stronger visibility across supply chains. Market integrity is a shared obligation, and as BIC, we believe our responsibility extends beyond protecting our own brands. We have a role to play in supporting broader efforts that strengthen confidence in the marketplace and protect consumers from unsafe and substandard products. This is why we remain committed to working alongside the Anti-Counterfeit Authority, government agencies, and other stakeholders as partners, united by a shared objective: protecting trust in Kenya's marketplace. Ladies and gentlemen, our collective responsibility is to strengthen market integrity and consumer confidence through partnership. If we succeed, we all stand to gain, and consumers will buy with greater confidence, and responsible businesses will continue to invest in the country. As BIC, we remain committed to playing our part in building stronger and more resilient marketplace in Kenya. Thank you once again to the Anti-Counterfeit Authority for convening this important convening, and thank you all for continued commitment to protecting quality, authenticity, and consumer trust. Thank you.
Happy World Anti-Counterfeit Day. Happy World Anti-Counterfeit Day. Yes, so today we are commemorating the World Anti-Counterfeit Day. We are members of the Global Anti-Counterfeit Group. And this is a group that brings various stakeholders together, like the ones who are in this particular room. So we have actually reached the climax of our function that started from Monday. And today we are commemorating the World Anti-Counterfeit Day in a very big way. So if you look at our theme is about strategic partnership. And as ACA, our logo basically speaks to that. If you look at the different colors, these are different stakeholders who are working with ACA to combat counterfeiting. So our vision talks about having a counterfeit-free Kenya. And we want to extend that so that we have a counterfeit-free Africa. We make sure that Africa, including Kenya, is a counterfeit-free environment where businesses can actually thrive. Our consumers can buy can buy genuine products without really worrying about coming across counterfeit products. So this is a very good forum, and I want really to welcome all of us to this particular event, so that as we as we commemorate this particular day, then we'll be able now to remember where we have come from, where we want to go, what steps that we have put in together to fight this particular menace. And as a strategic partners, we have the capability of fleeing this particular animal that is called counterfeit. I think as one of the presenters, our IPR owner said, is that if your product is not being counterfeited, then means that there must be a problem with that particular product, because then it means that it's not attracting demand from the counterfeiters as well as also the consumers. So the fact that we have a lot of counterfeits in Africa means that these are fast-moving consumer goods. These are goods that are actually been liked by the consumers, as well as also the counterfeiters, and therefore we need really to work together and fight this particular menace.
Good afternoon, everybody. To the chair of ACA, CEO ACA, CEOs present here, and the directors of ACA, government officials who are present here. Today we are here not to mourn, but to celebrate the achievements that have been made through collaboration. ACA has done a lot in this country. If you close your eyes and imagine Kenya without ACA, what the market would look like. Can you imagine? It will be terrible. As we came in, we were assessing the products there. And out of maybe 10 out of 10 of us, only probably one could be able to identify what is genuine or what is fake. 90% of us were not able to identify what is fake. And that is a concern for us as a community, as a country. Today, as we celebrate this day or commemorate this day, it's a demonstration of the journey and the direction we want to take as a country. From the perspective of the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, we reiterate our commitment to work with ACA and other government agencies, the security agencies that have been supporting, the magistrate, the judges, the prosecutors, the investigators, Kenya Bureau of Standards, KRA, and other agencies that have been supporting the international organizations that have also been working with us, Kenya Industrial Property Institute. We want to reiterate our commitment to fight this menace of counterfeit. But where we are as a country is much better than where we were some years back. And for that, I want to appreciate the leadership of ACA for this effort. And all citizens of this country, we need to join hands together to fight this menace of counterfeit. We are losing about 800 billion in terms of potential revenue that could go in a way of supporting our country to the counterfeit menace. So all the citizens also need to join this fight towards the journey of addressing the counterfeit menace. I'll not say much, but just to reiterate our commitment towards addressing illicit trade in this country from the manufacturing perspective. And our focus now should be on building the gains that we have already achieved. This means strengthening the coordination across enforcement chains from our ports of entry, border points to inspection, investigation and successful prosecution of offenders. I want to say as I close that I am here to celebrate all those who have helped to fight counterfeits. Clap for yourself. Let us continue this journey, and KM remains committed to support this process. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tobias Alando. A better round of applause for Tobias, and of course the beautiful work that they are doing at the Kenya Association of Manufacturers here in Kenya, helping to drive industrialization as well as expanding our manufacturing base. Ladies and gentlemen, time now to welcome Ms. Rabia Turnbull, Director of REACT Africa at REACT. Please, a warm welcome for Ms. Rabia Turnbull. Is she in the room? Well, I'm being informed that she has stepped out, but she's coming back shortly. And so, is Kenneth Matiba in the house? Yes. As we wait for Ms. Rabia, let's welcome Mr. Kenneth Matiba. He's the CEO, Kenya Institute of Supply Management. Our hands together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, MC, for the introduction. The chairperson of the Anti-Counterfeit Authority of Kenya, Honorable Nelson Gashuhe, the CEO of the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, my brother Tobias Alando, the Director of REACT Africa, Mrs. Rabia Turnbull, the Executive Director, Anti-Counterfeit Authority, Dr. Robbie Kinga, who is also a host, our professional colleagues and stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon one more time. Or should I say God is good and all the time? Indeed, God is good as we commemorate this day. And as such, I want to begin by saying that it's a great honor and privilege to join you today as we commemorate the World Anti-Counterfeit Day under the timely and important theme of leveraging strategic partnerships to combat counterfeiting. On behalf of the Kenya Institute of Supplies Management, I extend our appreciation to the Anti-Counterfeit Authority for convening this important forum that brings together stakeholders united by a common purpose of safeguarding consumers, protecting legitimate businesses, and strengthening Kenya's economy. Today's theme reminds us that counterfeiting is not merely a regulatory or enforcement issue. It is a supply chain issue, a trade issue, a consumer protection issue, and ultimately a national development issue. No single institution, therefore, ladies and gentlemen, can effectively address it in isolation. Success would then requires coordinated action, shared intelligence, and strong partnerships across the entire value chain. Ladies and gentlemen, counterfeit goods continue to pose significant challenges globally and locally. They undermine the legitimate enterprises, they erode investor confidence, They deprive governments of revenue, they compromise public safety, and expose consumers to substandard and sometimes dangerous products. What is often overlooked, however, is the critical role of procurement and supply chain management in preventing counterfeit products from entering the market. And that's why when we had a conversation with my brother, Dr. Robbie, a year ago, we began the step of looking forward to a very coordinated approach that also facilitates collaboration and cooperation in dealing with this challenge that threatens the generations to come. Every counterfeit product reaches a consumer through a supply chain. Consequently, strengthening supply chain governance is one of the most effective ways of combating counterfeiting. This is where the mandate of the Kenya Institute of Supplies Management aligns strongly with that of the Anti-Counterfeit Authority. The Anti-Counterfeit Authority is mandated to combat trade in counterfeit goods, enhance consumer protection, promote fair trade, and safeguard intellectual property rights. Similarly, KISM, established under the Supplies Practitioners Management Act, is mandated to regulate and professionalize procurement and supply chain management practice in Kenya. Our role is to promote ethical procurement, accountability, transparency, compliance, and excellence across public and private sector supply chains. At the core of both our mandates, as KISM and SCA, lies a shared objective. And the objective is ensuring integrity within the movement of goods from source to consumer. When procurement professionals conduct robust supplier due diligence, enforce quality assurance standards, verify product authenticity, and maintain transparent sourcing processes, they become the first line of defense against counterfeit products. Conversely, weak procurement controls, inadequate supplier verification, and fragmented supply chain oversight creates opportunities for counterfeit goods to infiltrate markets and institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, the fight against counterfeit must therefore begin from before products arrive on store shelves. It must begin at the point of sourcing. It must begin at supplier selection, contract management, logistics, warehousing, distribution, and inventory control. Procurement and supply chain professionals occupy strategic positions within these processes. They possess the ability to influence purchasing decisions, assess supplier credibility, and ensure compliance with established standards. This presents, therefore, a significant opportunity for collaboration between KISM and Anti-Counterfeit Authority, and we want to work together to enhance professional awareness and capacity building, to promote supply chain transparency and traceability, and also to support ethical sourcing. Finally, is to indicate that KISM remains committed to supporting initiatives that strengthen supply chain resilience and also promote responsible procurement practices. As we reflect on this year's theme, let us recognize that partnerships are not optional, they're essential. Government agencies require the support of industry. Industry requires the vigilance of supply chain professionals. Consumers require protection through effective regulation and enforcement, and all stakeholders require trust, collaboration, and a shared commitment to integrity. With those comments made, ladies and gentlemen, we pray for Kenya, we pray for our industries. May God bless you, and may God bless Kenya.
Thank you very much.
Distinguished guests, representatives, and to the authorities, law enforcement, rights holders, as well as industry partners. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to join you here today as we mark Anti-Counterfeiting Day and reflect on one of the most important challenges. Thank you. I'll just start again. So good morning, distinguished guests. guests, representatives, authorities, law enforcement partners, as well as industry partners and colleagues. It is an honor to join you here today as we mark the Anti-Counterfeiting Day and reflect on one of the most important challenges facing consumers, businesses, and economies across Africa as well as across the world. Allow me to begin with a simple observation. A young consumer sitting in Nairobi today can purchase a counterfeit product from a seller they have never met through a platform headquartered in another country or even another continent, make payment digitally within seconds, and receive the product within a short period of time. The transaction takes minutes. Tracing it can take months. That is the reality of counterfeiting in 2026. The nature of illicit trade is changing rapidly. Counterfeiters are no longer confined to market stalls, warehouses, shipping containers, or even border crossings. They have adapted to the digital age. They are agile, they are innovative, and increasingly sophisticated. At the same time, Africa is experiencing one of the most significant periods of transformation in history. 70% of the African population is under the age of 30. We are the youngest continent in the world, and we are witnessing an unprecedented growth in mobile connectivity, digital payments, e-commerce, social media commerce, as well as online entrepreneurship. So the question no longer is whether Africa's future is digital. The question is whether we can make that future trustworthy. This is where our collective responsibility begins. For those who may not know REACT, we are one of the oldest and longest standing anti-counterfeiting networks. We are a non-for-profit organization, and we are an organization that has been supporting rights holders, enforcement authorities, and industry partners for more than 3 decades. We work across multiple sectors and jurisdictions to combat the illicit trade, protect intellectual property rights, and ultimately to ensure the safety of consumers. Today, REACT operates globally and continues to expand its presence across Africa, recognizing both the immense opportunities and unique challenges that face our beautiful continent. At REACT, we see ourselves as connectors, as a bridge. We connect rights holders with enforcement authorities. We connect intelligence with action. We connect the private sector expertise with public sector enforcement. And increasingly, we connect the online and offline world. Because counterfeiters do not distinguish between the physical or digital space, neither can we. Our approach therefore reflects this reality. Offline, we continue to support investigations through various intelligence gathering mechanisms, as well as enforcement operations and training and capacity building programs. Online, we work with rights holders as well as with platforms to identify infringing activity and to take action offline. Increasingly, these worlds overlap. A counterfeit product advertised on social media today may be sold in a physical marketplace tomorrow. A seizure made at the border may reveal a network operating across multiple jurisdictions, online as well as offline. A single investigation can begin with a social media post and end with an enforcement operation involving several jurisdictions and several agencies. So this is why collaboration is no longer optional, it is essential. No single organization can tackle counterfeiting alone. No government agency can address this in isolation. No brand, platform, regulator, or enforcement authority possesses all the information, resources, and capacity and capabilities required. Success depends on partnership. Success depends on collaboration. And success depends on trust. It depends on the ability to share information, coordinate action, and adapt to evolving threats. And perhaps most importantly, success depends on recognizing what is truly at stake. Counterfeiting is often viewed solely as an intellectual property issue. It is not. it is an inherent consumer protection and oftentimes consumer health and public safety concern, as well as an economic development issue. Therefore, I would like to thank the ACA for taking such action and not just limiting or reducing enforcement to words, but actually confining it to action. I'd like to thank them for their hand in collaboration and the initiatives and the work that they have done. And I'd like to thank everyone here today for their time and their attention, as well as their enthusiasm to combat illicit trade in Africa. Thank you so much. I look forward to protecting our consumers, to protecting our children.
We are here on behalf of County Commissioner. We are in his territory. So it's important to recognize him. Otherwise, he's likely to tell us we get out. And we don't want that to happen. Then we have Mr. Kenneth Matiba, Simama tu watu wakuone, a good friend and the CEO of KISIM, Kenya Institute of Surprise Management. Then Mr. Tobias Alando, tupigie makofi. He is also a board member at Anti-Counterfeit Authority. Mr. Ishmael Bet, CEO, Association of Kenya Suppliers. Tupigie makofi, Bwana Bet. Then Mr. Agayo Ogambi, CEO of Shippers Council for East Africa. I'm also a member of LSK, and I am happy to recognize our Deputy CEO, Ms. Ruth Nyaberi. Ms. Ruth, tupigie makofi. And as they remove you from the lot of advocates. Then we have Mr. Stephen Ngeno. Mr. Stephen Ngeno, tupigie makofi, is our Deputy CEO, our Managing Director of Kenya Industrial Property Institute, KIPI. Then I also have my council member from RSK, Mr. Wabogo Wajohi. Wabogo, tupigie makofi, RSK member. Then from the diplomatic community, we have Mr. Gregor Schneider. Tusimame. You can rise up. From European Union, welcome Schneider. And then we have Mr. Karan Galcha. Karan, maybe they can also recognize you. From the British High Commission here in Nairobi. We have Devrin Busuru. Devrin, tupigie Devrin, European Union delegation, again in the country. And then we also have quite a number of broad donors who are in the house, chairman and invited members. On behalf of the management and the staff of Anti-Counterfeit Authority, I wish to thank all of you for accepting this invitation to come and join us here this afternoon. Thank you for being here this afternoon. Your presence in this room is not a protocol. It is a political weight behind the mandate, and we are grateful for it. Mr. Chairman, thank you, and also the board members, for the bold strategic direction you have set for this authority. The management team has heard you, and we are ready to engage. Chair, before the numbers, I want to tell you some stories. Sometimes I'm also a good storyteller, because health and safety are the moral spine of the authority's mandate. And because behind every statistic is a face, allow me to enumerate a few. I'll go to a country called Gambia, the Gambia. Actually, they call it the Gambia. I think it's only a country with Article 3 in its name. They call it the smiling coast of Africa. As they call it, we go back in the year 2022. That coast stopped smiling. 66 children gone, most of them under the age of 5. Their mothers had done what any mother in Bajul or here in Nairobi or in Kisumu would have done. When their babies coughed, they bought cough syrup, oral solution. It was called Covexmalin baby cough syrup or Macof
baby cough syrup. The labels looked legitimate, the branding looked respectable, but the syrups were contaminated with industrial solvents. The children suffered acute kidney failure. They did not recover. The World Health Organization classified these as a substandard, contaminated product, not a counterfeit. I want to be precise about that distinction because precision matters here. But ask yourself this: does the grieving mother care about the legal classification? Her child is dead. That is all she knows. That is all of us here we need to know. There was no smile on that coast. There was no smile on that coast. Only pain. Pain on the faces of mothers, pain on the faces of fathers, anguish in the eyes of their brothers, aunties, uncles, and grandparents. A whole village in mourning, a whole nation in tears. When a cough syrup kills a child, it does not ask if it is a counterfeit or a substandard. Neither do mothers who are left behind by this tragedy. And when we cross into the world of the counterfeit, the deliberately falsified, the intentionally fraudulent, the toll is heavier still. Let's go to a country called Niger in West Africa. In 1995, a deadly meningitis epidemic. The government received 88,000 vaccines doses donated by a neighboring African country. The vaccines had suspicious batch numbers, conflicting expiration date, and they were later confirmed as counterfeits. Over 50,000 people were inoculated with fakes, believing they were being protected. 2,500 people died. Most of them were children. The epidemic did not kill them. The counterfeit cure did. In Niger, in 1995, 2,500 people died, not from meningitis, but from the cure that was not a cure. And here in Kenya, in 2025, mercury in beauty creams sold on online platforms. Bring it here in Nairobi. The Zero Mercury Working Group, in a study published in November last year, 2025, tested skin lightening creams sold on mainstream Kenya e-commerce platforms. And it found that 14,167 parts per million of mercury were contained in those products that we are consuming. The legal limit is 1 per million, 14,000 times the legal limit. In a cream that promises beauty, in a cream that promises beauty but delivers kidney damage and neurological harm, not in a back street, but in all the platforms that all of us we are accustomed to. And again, let's go to Nyeri. Nyeri is also part of Kenya. Again, a multi-agency operation led by the authority and Association of Beverages in Kenya, that is ABAC and partner agencies, uncovered a counterfeit alcohol network responsible for producing product linked to death and acute poisoning. In a place called Kodangu, Kirinyaga, 17 people had already died in a single incident in 2024, believed to be connected to illicit alcohol supply chains. The illicit alcohol sector in Kenya is not a fringe problem. It is a serious problem. And that research by ABAC and Euromonitor has placed the value of illicit spirits in this country at 67 billion per year in terms of losses, accounting for 59% of the total spirit market. And 59%, that is a big number. More than half of every spirit sold in Kenya is outside the law. And that is a public health emergency masquerading as a market statistics. In Kiminini, in Western Kenya, and closer still, in Trans Nzoia County, a farmer named Oscar Barasa bought 9 bags of what he believed was substandard fertilizer. He was ready to plant. When officers tested it on his farm, the verdict was simple and devastating. In his own words, and I quote him, "We mixed the purported fertilizer with water, and the results are shocking. I bought stones." That is Oscar Baraza in a radio interview with a radio called Baraza in Trans Nzoia. He bought stones, 3 words that should haunt every regulator in this room. So from Banjul in the Gambia to Niamey in Niger, from Lagos to Onitsha, and from Nairobi to Kiminini, the fake works. It does not ask for a visa. It does not check a map. It fights the vulnerable. It takes from those who can least afford to lose. So that is a challenge, and that's why we are here to ask that we need to combine efforts in order to fight these fakes. So let me walk you through what the authority has been doing quietly, professionally, and consistently. We have seized and we have prosecuted, we have built, we have trained intelligence-led border-first enforcement, active operations at all border posts. And we have closed the loop with our partners who have engaged with our officers for the better part of this week. And we have taken our message to the public through media, our social platforms, our school programs, and consumer outreach. And on the global stage, we continue to engage with all your partners that are seated in this room. Chair, by design, our work is interagency, and we play an active contribution role at the Border Control Coordinating Committee that brings every border agency under one roof under the coordination of Border Management Secretariat. At the most recent BCOCC meeting, we tabled a paper proposing the formal integration of IP risk profiling into the committee's joint risk assessment framework. That proposal is being actioned. Earlier this week, right here at this venue, we concluded a 3-day brand identification training for enforcement. Customs, police, KEBS, the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, and prosecution officers. And we have delivered by global brand owners, that is Puma, Procter & Gamble, SKF, Samsung, Colgate-Palmolive, Bayer East Africa, Helion, Nitera, Unilever, and others who are supported by legal experts from Spoor & Fisher and Adams legal firms. So the regional picture is moving in our favor. As of 1st of December 2025, Tanzania's Fair Competition Commission brought into effect mandatory IP recordation regime integrated with its Tanoga National Online Goods Authentication System, and they have borrowed most of these from our own system here in Kenya. And looking ahead is that in this November, we'll be convening that international symposium on intellectual property protection and enforcement in Mombasa. This will be our platform to share with the world the lessons of Kenya's enforcement journey, our seizures data, our awareness numbers, our anti-counterfeit integrated management system rollout, and our BCOCC model. Kenya will be speaking with one voice, and the world will be listening. Honorable members present, the authority will count on your continued support to carry this story forward. In conclusion, we have worked, and the work is not yet done. I know we have been trained. That training should not stop here. It has to go to the exact reason why you have been called here, so that we can intercept and remove the counterfeit goods from our market. So I wish to stop there, but on behalf of the authority, I wish to thank all of you who are here present, our chief guest, our chairman, the board, all the partners who are in this room, and our officers who have been diligent enough to stand here to work with all the owners of the brands that have been engaging with them the entire week. And the Kenyan public who walk this journey with us every single day. Asanteni sana, and God bless you. Thank you.
I think I've finished my speech. That was one love. So thank you very much, the boys band. It was very entertaining. It's long since I danced, so I'm feeling a little bit younger. So thank you. That was good practice. So without taking a lot of time, let me welcome everybody here. And yeah, thank you. So the board members present here, and in the interest of time, our ED has mentioned quite a number of names. So let me write on those protocols because of the interest of time. The Executive Director, Dr. Robbie Kinga, distinguished representatives of our development partners and the trade partners, that is the European Union, the United States of America were here on Monday. Today I'm not seeing them today. Japan, the United Kingdom, thank you for being here with us. Leaders of the industry, the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, KEPSA, KNCCI, brand owners, legal partners, sister agencies, members of the Fourth Estate, ladies and gentlemen, karibuni sana this afternoon. Thank you very much for attending. As ACA would have felt, if you didn't attend this World Anti-Counterfeit Day, would not be here. So your presence here is quite a statement. So the World Anti-Counterfeit Day is marked across more than 50 countries every June. This year we mark it with something more than purpose. Kenya is moving decisively, not from talking to planning, but from planning to implementation. Let me put it direct that the Kenya counterfeit law has outgrown and it was created for this authority during the year 2009. 2000 December is when it was assented, and it commenced operation in 2009. That is around 18 years ago. I was part of that law. That time I was a member of parliament. I was in the Departmental Finance Committee, and that is where we actually, this is one of our laws that I did the first time when I joined parliament. So if you can look back 18 years ago, and we are still using the same law, I can assure it has outlived its usefulness. And by that, I think it is something that we want to do. By then, I can tell you the criminals who are there doing the counterfeiting were totally different from the people who are now counterfeiting goods because of the advanced technology in our trade. So we have today, we're operating on social media. I think by then we were not. We have e-commerce platforms across encrypt channels. through transnational supply chain. The counterfeit of 2009 was the counterfeit goods 2009 was just a pure imitation. The counterfeit goods of 2026 are engineered to deceive even the trained eye. We have looked at the law. The law has not kept pace with the criminals. So we will change the law. Consider the global picture. The OECD's 2025 Mapping Global Trade in Fakes report valued cross-border counterfeit trade at USD 467 billion, about 2.3% of all world trade. In the European Union alone, counterfeit imports were valued at USD 117 billion, or 4.7% of total EU imports. Think about that. Our authority is being asked to confront that criminal economy with a law that was enacted in the year 2008. And consider the human cost. The World Health Organization estimates that every single year, 320,000 children die in Africa from falsified and substance medicines, about 170,000 from pneumonia alone, 150,000 from malaria. This is not an abstract number. These are children who should have been in school today. A counterfeit on a pharmacy shelf is a coffin in waiting. Ladies and gentlemen, I now want to speak about what I believe is the most consequential announcement this board has made since this authority was established. The Anti-Counterfeit Act, number 13 of 2008, contains a provision that has until now been underutilized. That is Section 34B, inserted into the Act by the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendment Act of 2018. It provides for the recordation of intellectual property rights in respect of imported goods, and for the issuance of a certification mark in form of anti-counterfeit device to be affixed to those goods. The supporting legal framework is the Anti-Counterfeit Recordation Regulation 2021, gazetted as a legal notice 118 of 2021. Since 1st January 2023, it has been an offense to import into Kenya any goods bearing intellectual property rights that have not been recorded with this authority. That foundation is now laid. The recordation regime is live. The law is in place. What has been missing until this afternoon is the activation of the authentication device that Section 34B provides for. Today, Section 34 leaves the statute book. It walks into the factory floor. The board announces this afternoon that the Anti-Counterfeit Authority will now operationalize Section 34B, being the implementation of the anti-counterfeit security device regime, a tamper-evident, digitally verifiable certification mark issued under the authority of Section 34B. It will be affixed to the designated goods before they enter the Kenya market. Each device carries a unique identifier. A consumer verifies it with a smartphone. An enforcement officer scans it at the border, in the warehouse, on the shelf, and the database is held by the authority. Every scan generates intelligence. Every genuine product becomes self-declaring. At the pilot stage 1, all products touching health and safety, where do we start? We start where the counterfeit kills. The pilot covers every product category in which a fake does not merely disappoint, it destroys. Here is the full scope. Alcoholic beverages. ED said that in our shelves, over 50% of our alcoholic drinks, and mainly spirits, are fakes. Where illicit alcohol is responsible for death, poisoning, and blindness across the country. That is well known that very many people, although some people say, even if I get blind, I can still drink. So we want to counter that to make sure that not our young people, our drunkards, at least have site. Pharmaceuticals, humans and veterinary medicine, in close coordination with the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, who are well represented here. Because imagine a farmer, as Dr. Kinga was saying, buying fertilizer, planting, at the end of the season, no production. A cattle farmer, we call them pastoralists, they buy dewormers and their cows continue thinning. So that is what we want to fight with the help of the Kenya Pharmacy and Poisons Board. The agro inputs, fertilizers as mentioned, agrochemicals and seeds, in coordination with KEFIS and the Pest Control Product Board. Cosmetics and skincare products, particularly given the mercury content, as the ED here specified. Crisis exposed in 2025. I remember that is when we had a big crisis with the mercury product. Bottled water and edible oil, staple products that reach every household, including the most vulnerable. Food products where counterfeiting directly threatens nutrition and food safety. The baby products, you buy none, which is not none. You give it to your baby thinking and then after some few months, the baby is malnutritioned. So electrical and electric companies, components affecting safety, wiring, switches, plugs, and related products. I believe all of us were there when we were doing, when the brand producers were actually showing us the counterfeits. We buy a charger, charges today, tomorrow it's not charging. You go to the next shop, they tell you this is an original charger, you buy it, and the originals, of course, they'll say they're very expensive, but after 2 days they're not working, or even going to the extent of even burning our houses. Automotive safety parts, brake pads, tires, components on which life depends on the road. If it can heal you, it can poison you. If it can feed you, it can move you. It must carry the mark. Where the counterfeit kills, the genuine must be visible. Where the counterfeit hides, the genuine must shine. That is the philosophy of this device. Every bottle of alcohol on a Kenyan shelf will carry our mark. Every tablet, every cream, every bag of fertilizer, if it touches life, it must carry the mark. The mark is different. The mark is the difference between the genuine and the grave. Applied at this point of manufacture or first importation under the supervision of the authority and partner regulators, it is interoperable with existing government systems, including the Kenya Revenue Authority, Accessible Goods Management System, and KEBS standardization mark to avoid duplication for the industry. Backed by a public mobile application that allows any Kenyans to verify a product in seconds anywhere in the country, integrated with the authority's AIMS platform so that every scan generated enforces intelligence in real time. First, in sector by sector, full consultation, transparent costing, predictable timelines, and no surprises. When a mother in Kisumu buys medicine for her child, should she be able to scan a code and know beyond doubt, and that's what she is holding to be real? To us as the authority under the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, we ask for policy cover, budget support, and cross-MDA regulations alignment to make this rollout a success. To the Parliamentary Trade Departmental Committee on Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, we invite them for an engagement to fast-track any subsidiary regulations and implementation that we may require. The framework is in place. The speed of rollout depends on the speed of our collective will. The brand owners and manufacturers enroll early. Partner with ACA on the technical design. View the mark not as a cost, but as a market trust asset. The genuine mark will be commercial advantage over the fake. The Section 34B operationalization is today a headline. but it sits within a broader legislative agenda that the board has adopted as a top priority, a comprehensive review of the Anti-Counterfeit Law 2008. The act that created this authority has not been comprehensive, updated since its commencement. The criminals have moved, the market has moved, our law has not moved. The reviews will address online and platform-based counterfeit trading, bringing e-commerce intermediaries, social media platforms, and online marketplace into the enforcement net. Tougher deterrent penalties, custodial sentence for repeat offenders, asset forfeiture, and proceeds of crime recovery. Cross-border investigations, power and alignment with the East African Anti-Counterfeiting Bill discussions with our Principal Secretary has described. Clearer due process safeguards so that the legitimate small traders are protected and only counterfeiters bear the full weight of the law. A modern offense architect that embeds the use of authentication technologies, including the Section 34B device, as a permanent feature on the enforcement landscape. We will also engage the Cabinet Secretary, the Principal Secretary, the Attorney General, and the relevant departmental committees of the National Assembly and Senate. This target is to introduce the amendment bill within this calendar year, by December this year. Let me speak plainly to the brand owners and manufacturers in this room. Every reform we propose will be co-designed and well coordinated with you. The security device is not a tax, it's a shield for your investment, your brand, and your customers. We will pilot, we will iterate, we will only scale what works. The brand owners who partner with us now will shape the design of the system they will live with for years. This is not an inconvenience. This is an opportunity. And to the Kenyan public, let me say this plainly. This fight is for you. Behind every counterfeit pill, every fake fertilizer bag, every imitation of brake pads is a family that could be harmed. A mother, a child, a father, a farmer, a driver, everybody here is a victim. Our task is simple. The next time you reach out for a product, you reach it with confidence. Counterfeit goods steal twice. First, from the brand owners, then from the unsuspecting consumer. This board will not stand and watch. Finally, I want to thank our Executive Director and his team for the extraordinary work that has brought us to this moment. I thank our partners, local and international, for their unwavering support, and I thank you all for being here with us, and we expect to collaborate together so that we can make Kenya a counter-free country. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Chair, for talking to us about the policy interventions that are required to strengthen the war against counterfeit. Asante sana. Tumpigie makofi akiketi. Thank you very much. Thank you. We're now moving to the next phase of this program, where I'm going to invite Henry Omusundi on stage to come and take us through the presentation of product training certificates. As I had told you earlier, there are people who have been here for the last 5 days going through training on how to identify and how to combat and deal with counterfeits in this market. These are the ambassadors that are going to be dispatched from today to help the country in the fight against counterfeit products.
And for Madam Rabia, is the one to will be able to guide on where to sign. Let's sign simultaneously. ACA. So we're going to sign a framework. This time round, not a full MOU, because we are in discussion and we are signing a framework today to indicate or to demonstrate the commitment between ACA and the government agencies, the private sector, through the supply chain. The government is the biggest consumer of most goods. Do you think they are prone to counterfeits? Yes or no? Definitely yes, they are not immune. And of course, the private sector also affected. So ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, I wish to welcome the CEO of KISIM, the Kenya Institute of Supply Chain Management, Bwana Matiba, to come and sign an MOU with ACA. Let's appreciate him as he comes. Thank you, Bwana CEO. And this MOU will also, this framework will be demonstrating the kind of support that we'll be giving to each other, particularly when it comes to issues of capacity building and creating public awareness. We continue to engage. We can take our seats, CEOs.
Thank you very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kenyan Boys Choir, I just want to read the journey of the Kenyan Boys Choir in relation to this amazing day. So my name is Henry Wanjala, co-founder and manager of the Kenyan Boys Choir. When I hear the word counterfeit, I do not only think about products. I think about identity, ownership, and the hard work that goes into building something authentic. The Kenyan Boys Choir was founded on a dream to create opportunities for young boys through music and use our voices to inspire hope and positive change. But our journey taught us that authenticity must sometimes be protected. In 2009, an opportunity with Universal Music opened our eyes. As exciting as it was, we realized that while we existed as artists and performers, we were not properly recognized as owners and custodians of our own brand and vision. The realization began a long journey. I remember spending countless hours at Sharia House, waiting for an opportunity to meet the Registrar General and seeking guidance on how to formally protect what we have built. Through the process, we successfully registered the Kenyan Boys Choir as a business. However, our challenges were not over. We later discovered that another registration had been done at KIPI, creating confusion around our identity and brand. What followed was a 5-year battle to have that registration expunged. It wasn't easy. It required patience, resilience, and unwavering belief in truth. Eventually, justice prevailed, and that registration was expunged. Even though the matter was challenged at the High Court, once again, we stood our ground, defended what was authentic, and we won. Today, as we celebrate World Anti-Counterfeit Day, our story is a reminder that authenticity is worth protecting. Whether it is a product, a brand, an invention, a piece of art, or a dream, the effort, creativity, and sacrifice behind it deserve recognition and protection. The Kenyan Boys Choir is still standing today because we chose to fight. We chose to fight and fight for what was real what was true and what rightfully belonged to the young people whose voices built this institution. Thank you to the Anti-Counterfeit Authority for championing this important cause, and thank you all for celebrating authenticity with us today. Thank you and God bless you. Counterfeits may imitate success, but only authenticity can create a legacy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sizongena lapha emzini, 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 Sibulele singele nsonge wemfanzo ngemama 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 Sishelo sinono lezele Sishelo sinono lezele Siyashela wemfanzo ngemama Sizongena lapha emzini Sizongena lapha emzini Sizongena lapha emzini Sifuna malungelo Sizongena lapha emzini Sizongena lapha emzini Sifuna malungelo Sizongena
Thank you. The Kenya Boys Choir, they will tell you where to find them.
And I can assure you that the board has put in place the necessary policy that will ensure us to be in the next platform that we can be able to ensure the safety of our consumers and the economy of the country, and all participants here can be a very good ambassador to ensure that we are moving to the right direction. I want to also appreciate the participants from far, particularly the Spawn Fisher, Adams and Adams, who have taken their time to be with us, and they have been continuously partnering with us. With those few remarks, because of the time and the energy that we have taken, and I know the adrenaline is quite low, and people are saying that we need to have lunch, I want to take this opportunity on behalf of ACA, and in particular ACA Enforcement Directorate, for their good work, and we continue and we are committed to make sure that we partner strategically, we combat counterfeit globally, and ensure that we as ACA, we shall be there for you to ensure that we are partnering in combating counterfeiting. And all these ambassadors and the multiple of people outside there, I can assure you that we are in the right trajectory. With those few points, I want to say thank you very much, and you are most welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.